I think the Supreme year was pretty freaking good, man. I think we had a good year. And now we need to discuss the top 5 Supreme pieces of 2017. Top 5, top 5, top 5. So, basically, right, this week I want to do a bunch of top 5 videos. I know a bunch of people did it prior to Christmas. That's the best time to do it because that's really when you make the most money off ad revenue. But I want to discuss my top 5s. Normally I do it closer to January. Maybe next year I should probably do it before Christmas because your boy got to think a little bit smarter. But I was getting over a sickness. I was gone, so I didn't really have time to like make as many videos, and I don't know, man. It's kind of funny because when ad revenue was at its peak, I was posting the least out of everyone. Like, that's when I wasn't posting at all. But that's just because, like I said, I was traveling and I really couldn't create as much content. But regardless, who cares? We need to discuss the top 5 Supreme pieces. I have some of the pieces. I might show you guys some of the pieces, but I want to talk about the top 5 pieces that I feel that drop, right? And if you're thinking that it's going to be like, top 5 is the box logo, number 4 is the box logo, number 3 is the North Face, number 2 is the box logo, and then you don't know me, because I'm not putting the box logo on there at all even. I don't even really think I think the box logo deserves like an honorable mention because these box logos were a little bit unique. However, if you guys know me, I don't really care about normal box logos. Like, I like some of the box logos, but in my personal opinion, I could really care less about box logos, and that's not going to make my top 5. In fact, most pieces that are in my top 5 really aren't that hyped. You can find most of these pieces for fairly close to retail, except for some of them. I mean, some of them definitely have resale. Actually, no, a couple of them really have resale. I would say the most hyped is probably going to be the Nas photo tee. That's going to be in there. You guys already knew that. I mean, there's no way that wasn't going to be in there. But I do want to break this into 2 parts. First, I'm going to discuss my top 5 lookbook items, like from Supreme, and then I'll discuss my top 5 collabs, and I'll explain why those are my top 5 favorite collabs this year. The reason I want to do that is because, honestly, if I was just to do top 5 Supreme pieces, then basically 4 of the 5 pieces would be like collab items, and I don't know. I want to do top 5 lookbook items and top 5 collab items because the lookbook is a big part of Supreme, and that's like, you know, those are the pieces that we see that are going to drop at the beginning of the season. We don't know what's dropping for a lot of the collabs unless we see like leaks early or whatever. But anyways, top 5 lookbook items. Number 1, my favorite piece to drop this year from the lookbook items, and I really did not think this was gonna be number 1, but it's gotta be the Fuck Jacquard puffy coat, man. That coat is so beautiful, and now that I have it in hand, it's even better looking. Like, I'm telling you, man, that piece is so sick. Like, you guys, if you have not seen it in person, then you will not understand. That jacket is quality, it's amazing, and I'm just really, really impressed with everything about that jacket. That is the piece that I took quite a few pictures in, and I will be showing those off on my Instagram, so make sure you follow my Instagram. My Instagram's at the Starlight. It'll be somewhere on the screen and in the description below. I got a ton of super sick photos coming in that piece, so if you want to see exactly why that's my favorite piece, and you can see some really dope high-res quality images in that piece, and you get an idea of why I'm placing that at number 1, then, you know, go do that. Go follow me on my Instagram. My number 2 favorite piece is going to be the Nas photo tee. Now, the Nas photo tee, to me, I feel like it could have been a little bit better. However, just being, man, it's just, that's mandatory. That's a legendary piece. Nas is a legend. I love Nas. I would say one of my favorite songs is Blunt Ashes. I love that song. It's not one of his older tracks. I think it's one of his newer tracks. I don't remember exactly what year that came out, but I think that song is super sick. I just think in general, if you like hip-hop, you like rap, then you're going to respect Nas as an MC, and I just think that there's no way that can't be considered one of the top 5 pieces from this year. My number 3 item, numero trace, is going to be the reflective Supreme half zip. Now, this piece is insane. And this is one of the pieces I gotta grab. Like, I would grab the puffy coat, but I need you to go follow me on my Instagram. But this piece right here, I want to show you guys because I feel like, honestly, if you don't see this piece, you just won't understand. Like, I don't know if you can see it reflectating everything, but damn, this piece is crazy, bro. It's literally insane, and as it ages, it's kind of interesting because, like, some of it will lose, like, certain 3M parts, and, like, you can see, like, little defects in it. Like, it's just really, really interesting. This piece shines. It's definitely an eye catcher. Like, a lot of people, whenever I wear this thing, they just see that chameleon paint job shining, and they're like, you can just see people's necks breaking left and right looking at your freaking half zip, and this is just such a crazy piece. I actually got hooked up for this. I got this 20 over retail, which is a super good deal. Now, that piece right there was actually from last season, and I just think that's one of the hardest pieces from last season. Last season, to me, wasn't nearly as good as this season was, and I feel like that is definitely one of the best pieces from last season. Now, another piece from last season that I think is so sick to me is going to be the Supreme basketball jersey. Now, I think that's kind of a weird piece because that's not a piece I would normally get. However, of course, They did it in the Seattle Sonics colorway, so I loved that piece. I have that piece. It's not a piece I normally wear a lot just because I don't really wear basketball jerseys like that. However, I keep it in my personal collection because it is in that Sonics colorway. It's a brand that I heavily support, and so just in general, for me, seeing them, I don't know, the fact that they did the Seattle Sonics colorway to me was really dope, especially since the Seattle Sonics is no longer a team. As you guys may know, they moved to Oklahoma. Oklahoma stole them from us, and hopefully someday we get them back. I would love to have the Seattle Sonics. Really, I mean, Tacoma needs its own team, but regardless, until Tacoma ever gets its own NBA team, which will probably never happen, I gotta support the Seattle Sonics, so it was cool to see them do this basketball jersey in a Seattle Sonics colorway. So now the last piece, numero 5, numero 5, is going to be the Arabic logo hoodie. And the reason I think this piece deserves to be on there is because the Arabic logo in general is just a very, very classic logo for Supreme, and it was just really dope in general to see them redo that logo and bring that logo back in some new colors. So I was pretty stoked on that. Also, the quality of these pieces were immaculate. The embroidery was insane, and I just think that that deserves to be on the top 5 pieces. Now, this is not a piece that I actually caught for my personal collection. I do have a red one that I put on ice, and I will probably sell in 10, 15 years. However, for me personally, I felt like it was really dope to see them bring that piece back. But a lot of you guys are probably surprised if you guys didn't understand the fact that I wasn't throwing collabs in there, that the North Face didn't make my top 5. Because the North Face, you already know I love the North Face. The North Face is like one of my favorite brands of all times. So you already know my favorite pieces from the year overall, if we're looking at the collabs, would be the North Faces. In fact, 2 of the North Faces. It would be the Mountain North Face, but before that, what I think is even better than that are the Expedition North Faces. I think those are super sick. Obviously, if you understand the history behind those pieces, you would know why that is such a sick piece to me. I mean, I actually almost spent $1,300 on the original jacket that's not even Supreme, like the actual vintage Antarctic Expedition jackets. So for the number 1 greatest collab of the year, it has to be the North Face. And really, it's all the North Face collabs, well, 2 of the North Face collabs, but we're just going to count it as 1 to make life easy, because otherwise it just wouldn't be fair. My number 1 and number 2 would be the North Face. My number 2 favorite collab this year is the MC Escher collab, which I know a lot of people are going to think is absolutely crazy, but I just think that collab is super sick. I love that collab. I don't know. I think that the MC Escher collab was definitely slept on. It was one of my favorite collabs of the year, and well, I mean, obviously it was my second favorite collab of the year, and I actually ended up keeping the trench coat from that collab. I sold almost everything, but I kept the trench coat for my personal collection because I think that was the best piece from that collab. I did really like the hoodies as well. However, I was kind of disappointed with a couple things, and I don't know. I didn't keep the hoodie. I probably would have kept the hoodie if it fit right, but it fit a little bit tighter than most of their hoodies. Now, the number 3 collab of the season has to be the Nike Subtempos. It just has to be, bro. Like, I feel like that was one of the sickest Nikes to drop this year. I also feel like that was a big move for Nike to start trying to bring the up-tempos back. Since then, we've seen a lot of different up-tempos. We've seen them release a lot of different colorways, like the tricolors, the bones, the wheats, like all these different colorways of up-tempos, because I feel like Nike's really trying to push the up-tempo model this year. A lot of those colors sat and they didn't sell out, and you could actually get most of those colors on sale. I got the all-white ones on sale. I really should have copped those the bone color, man. That like bone creme de la creme color is beautiful. But I already have the all-whites and the black sub-tempos, so I just didn't really need them. But I feel like that was definitely a sick collab, and now we've heard rumors of the off-white up-tempos where it says like off on it. But yeah, I just feel like that was a super sick shoot, and I feel like that was definitely like a pretty monumental release for Nike and Supreme. Anyways, number 4, right, my 4th favorite collab. I think this might be kind of surprising, but it's got to be the Louis Vuitton collab, right? I don't even like the Louis Vuitton collab, but just in general, for how monumental that collab is and what it means, you gotta say the Louis Vuitton collab. Even if you don't like it personally, you gotta put that in the top 5. I mean, that's why it's 4th, because the collab was shit, right? But just the fact that that collab even exists is insane to me. For those of you that don't know the history, back in 2000, I believe, Louis Vuitton sent out a cease and desist for the pieces that were designed by Futura, which I just found out recently, but it was the Supreme Louis Vuitton monogram, and it's got the Supreme Louis Vuitton, like, it's got the Louis V monogram, but it's got these little dollar signs in there, and I thought that was super dope, and in my opinion, I think that the collab itself is just kind of monumental, because they went from that, receiving a cease and desist from Louis Vuitton, to 17 years later becoming such a big streetwear brand that a high-end brand like Louis Vuitton decides to reach out and actually collab with Supreme. That is crazy. Now, I personally feel like Louis Vuitton somewhat, like, regrets doing that collab, But some people disagree with me because supposedly they're still making stuff. I mean, we've seen like random little things come out of them. But it's not necessarily that I feel like they necessarily regret doing the collab as much as they regret releasing it how they released it. Like they released it, the fact that they released it by doing the in-store stuff, I just feel like they regret doing that because it caused a lot of problems. In fact, they canceled the last in-store release because the second release caused a riot. I was kind of bummed they canceled it because that was one of the big reasons why I wanted to go to LA, because I wanted to film that video, and I was hoping that there would be another riot so I could get some super sick drone footage of people just rioting in the streets over Supreme Louis Vuitton. But anyways, the 5th favorite collab of the season, my 5th favorite collab, has got to be, people probably not going to expect this one. I'm really curious if anyone's guessing what the top 5. If you haven't guessed it, right? If you think that you guessed it, damn, this is actually really hard. Actually, you might be able to guess it, you know, because it just changed. I was going to say CDG, because I feel like the CDG collab was really slept on, but the trench coat was kind of lacking in my opinion. I feel like the eye graphic was super dope, but just in general, I feel like they didn't execute it right. And for that reason, I have to take it from CDG and give it to Akira, which is probably what you guys would have guessed. I think Akira definitely deserves that 5th spot. And I do think that the Akira collab was somewhat of a letdown to me. I think they focused way too much on the antagonist instead of the protagonist, or just more characters in general from the film. I think that would have been a lot sicker in my opinion. However, I still think the fact that it's a collab with Akira is super dope. It's pretty monumental, Akira being one of the most popular animes of all time, and just the fact that they're collabing is just insane. I would have liked to see the motorcycle jacket actually used, that graphic actually used as well with like the Supreme pill. I would have liked to see just kind of more around the whole motorcycle gang like dynamic, but just in general, I think regardless, the fact that that's a collab is super monumental to me personally. I think the Stone Island collab was pretty sick as well, but I don't think that deserves a top 5 spot. I think the Stone Island collab was sick and I like the collab, but just in general, I think Akira is going to take that number 5 spot for me personally. I know a lot of hype beasts are going to be like, oh, what the fuck, bro? You need to put the Stony collab in there, bro? You need to put the Stony collab in there, bro? But what are your top 5 favorite Supreme pieces, whether it be the lookbook pieces or collab items or collabs in general? Let me know down in the comments below. Of course, if you like this video, smash that like button. I will be doing top 5s all week. So tomorrow, I will be doing a top 5 sneaker video. If you would like to see that, smash that like button down below, and I will be doing my top 5 sneaker pickups tomorrow. I might even end up doing like a top 5 clothing pickups of the year. If you want to see a top 5 clothing item pickup, then let me know in the comments and smash that like button if this video gets enough love, and then tomorrow I'll mention it in the shoe video. If the shoe video gets like 3K likes, then maybe I'll do a top 5 just in general clothing item pickups. So yeah, man, thank you guys so much for watching. I appreciate it from the top and bottom of my heart, and as always, keep living the star life. Shout out to Supreme, you had a good year. This thing is absolutely magnificent, and so are a lot of the pieces that dropped this year. But I got some good news, yes sir. There's a bus